the strawberry cake. Eric the elf was gathering strawberries for his tea. He had Griselda the fairy coming, and he wanted to make a strawberry cake, as he knew that was one of her favourites. As he gathered the strawberries, he was careful never to take all the berries from one plant, so there would always be some left for the next person, animal or bird, to come along. He whistled a merry tune he had heard from the pixies, and one by one he filled the basket he had brought along. He was so absorbed in his work that he did not notice the field filling with people, until it was almost too late. He looked up and saw a line of people working across the field toward him. Of course! It was harvest time, and the farmer had brought the fruit pickers to gather in the crop. Eric had found that although one at a time, people were generally very nice and understanding. In a crowd, they were very difficult to reason with. So he ducked his head down and scampered quickly to the shelter of the hedgerow. The pickers were all concentrating on their work, so happily none of them spotted Eric. However, now that he stopped and looked about him, he saw that all the fields he could see were filled with pickers. He was stuck, and soon they would be passing so close to his hiding place they were bound to spot him. Just then he heard a scurrying noise behind him. He turned around, and there was Monty Mouse, preening his whiskers.
Hello there, Eric. You seem to be in a bit of a fix, he said.
Indeed I am, Monty, said Eric. I wonder perhaps if you know any way that I can get away without being seen, because you must know these fields very well. Monty stroked his whiskers and said,
I think I can get you to the end of the next field, but if I am doing that, I won't be collecting any strawberries.
Eric understood at once, for he knew Monty to be a very wily mouse. Of course, I would be happy to let you have some of my strawberries if you could do that. So, the bargain struck. Monty led Eric through a maze of branches and roots until they were at the corner of the next field. And good as his word, Eric gave Monty a third of all the strawberries in his basket in thanks. Eric looked around. There were lines of pickers in all the fields. He was still stuck. Then he spotted a molehill very near the end of the hedge. He knew that Malcolm the Mole must have a tunnel under there, for he had promised to mark wherever his tunnels came up with a molehill. Glancing around, he quickly darted to the hole and jumped down. He was ready for the drop and even managed to keep all the strawberries safely in his basket. He pulled out the moonstone from his belt pouch, and it glowed brightly. He started to make his way in what he thought was the right direction, and called out for Malcolm. In only a few more steps, Malcolm the Mole appeared in the tunnel just ahead.
Eric, old chap. I hope you're not lost this time.
Eric shook his head. Quite the opposite, really. I know just where I am, but I need to get to the woods, and the fields are full of people. Malcolm understood, because, well, he was quite shy himself.
Well now, I can lead you through my tunnels toward the woods, but as you know, I tend to stay clear of the wood itself because of all the tree roots, said Malcolm. Eric was happy to be making progress in the right direction, and he and Malcolm soon made their way to the end of the tunnels nearest the wood. Thank you so much, said Eric. Please, do take some strawberries to have for your tea.
Malcolm the Mole seldom had strawberries, and he twitched his nose excitedly.
Oh, what a treat, what a treat, he said.
He hoisted Eric onto his back and up to the hole until he was able to see if the coast was clear. It was not. There was a line of pickers just a short distance away, and in exactly the other direction Eric could see the edge of the wood. Just then, Mr. Blackbird landed next to the hole.
"Hello there, Eric. Oh, are you pretending to be a worm?"
he asked. "No," said Eric. "I am trying to get home without all these people spotting me." Mr. Blackbird looked up and saw the line of fruit pickers, and behind them a scarecrow.
"I'll tell you what. How about if I distract them by landing on the scarecrow and making a big fuss? People always think it's funny when we land on the scarecrows."
"That is a brilliant idea," declared Eric. So Mr. Blackbird flew up into the air, and as he descended he made an awful squawking racket, which made all the pickers stand up and look around. In that very instant Eric was up and out of the hole and dashed into the woods. "Oh, that was a close thing," he said, catching his breath as Mr. Blackbird fluttered down beside him. "Oh, how can I thank you for helping me get back into the woods?" Mr. Blackbird eyed Eric's basket.
"Well, I'm very partial to strawberries."
Eric sighed and poured out the last of his strawberries for Mr. Blackbird to enjoy. And then, bidding him farewell, he walked slowly back to his cottage with an empty basket. When he got home, he found Griselda waiting for him in his garden. Eric told her all about his adventure and why there was no strawberry cake for tea.
"Oh, not a problem," said Griselda.
With a wave of her wand, a dainty table appeared in the middle of the garden, with a pot of tea, cucumber sandwiches, and a great big strawberry cake in the middle.